So, what exactly are neurodevelopmental strategies? Because I'm sure some of our parents have never heard of that before,
Mhm.
and so that's kind of where I would love to start. Is just what are we? What is this we're talking about in general?
Well, just to give you a little background on neurodevelopment and the approach is more at trying to find the root cause of the struggle instead
Mm,
of just using strategies. But one of the things that we really depend on and encourage families is something called the 3 keys to learning. And
hmm.
that is frequency, intensity, and duration. So
Yes.
frequency is like how often they hear something or are
Hmm.
presented with the same information. Intensity is how strong it is. Like
Hmm.
if you were going to teach history, but you didn't like history, it
Right.
wouldn't be very intense for your for your learner because you'd be
Yes.
going, okay, the first president was,
Uh-huh.
and it would be kind of la la la. So
Mhm.
if you're going to teach history and your child, say, loves horses, for instance,
Hmm.
you might teach history through, the horses used in chariots and the horses used in the
Yeah.
Oregon Trail and,
Hmm.
those kinds of things that really spur their interest. So intensity
Right.
has a number of different ways that you get that intensity.
Hmm.
One is through interest,
Mhm.
and the other is through time.
Ah,
We tend to spend a lot of time, like mimicking a public school when we don't need to as homeschoolers,
mhm. Yes.
as far as how much time you spend. You don't need an hour for math. You need to
Yes.
spend 10 minutes and not leave them alone. So,
Mhm.
it would make it a lot more intense if you did a problem and they did a problem. So that goes
Mhm.
back to the frequency, how often they see it done correctly, and then
Right.
the intensity that keeps their interest there
Mhm.
as you show them one, and then you're right there to,
Mhm.
make sure they don't make a mistake.
Right.
It really gets very unintense when they've been sitting there for 30 minutes
Mhm.
and their attention is gone and they've done a bunch of problems wrong. And then they give it to
Yes.
you and you go,
Mhm.
oh, oh my gosh. And then what usually
Mhm.
gets the intensity on that page? It's like, this one's wrong, this one's wrong, this one's wrong.
Oh, yes, the way we don't want the intensity to make an impact.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So, uh, this this strategy, these kind of neurodevelopmental strategies are putting input into the brain instead of
Mm,
always asking for output. Most
yeah.
of our curriculum are very much output based.
Mm,
And
mhm.
so you're asking all the time. It's almost like,
Right.
and it really is, you're testing them. When you ask them,
Mm,
it's a test.
yeah.
So if you change it around and give them input, 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 and then
Mhm.
ask them,
Right.
then their chances of success are a whole lot better. They feel
Right.
good about themselves, and
Mhm.
they've really gotten the information they need to do good, what we call output, which is writing
Mm,
something down or giving you an answer.
mhm.
So,
Yes.
so frequency is how often, intense is how strong the information comes in,
Mhm.
and then duration is short periods of time, but over time.
Right.
So one of the strategies we use in our product that's for math facts, it's called rapid recall because that's
Mhm.
what you want is rapid
Right.
recall. Is where the child sees and hears and says and writes 5 math facts 14 times in a day.
Hmm.
And you go, oh my goodness, what? How long does that take? Well, it really only takes 6 minutes because you're inputting it. And
Mhm.
only 2 of those outputs are where they're, are 2 of those times of the 14 are output. So
Right.
after 60 exposures of the correct information,
Mhm.
with that frequency, intensity, and duration, 1 minute here, 2 minutes here, 1 minute here, 2 minutes here,
Right.
then it starts to come out on those speed drills that we
Mm.
notoriously put in front of our children and
Right.
say, "Do this faster."
Right, but we've never equipped them to do it faster, and
Exactly.